Alright, so we just got done watching The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and with this new entry in the franchise, and this is a prequel that I said before the events of the games with Katniss Everdeen, and then this is it introducing a young Cornelius Snow, and before he was the president, and even Lucy Gray, and even the 10th Hunger Games, and just with the story and how it all came to be, and so much more. And this will be my quick reaction and a review for the film, and no spoilers. And now, just going in this film in general, and even as we take a look at this entire film series as a whole, with the first Hunger Games movie, which I absolutely adore, and how the story came to be, and even with the first film, even with the entire film series, which I loved, and even how this is based upon the book, and even with this film, that this is a prequel that I said like 65 years before the events of the actual games involving that character, and I thought it was a pretty interesting story. And now, with the main premise of the film, and this is said within the 10th annual Hunger Games, where like this is said like years for the events of the actual games, with Katniss Everdeen, with the young Cornelius Snow, who was to team up with his mentor from District 12, named Lucy Gray, and it's only a matter of time as they race against it to find out like who is revealed to be a songbird and who is a snake. And just with the way that it is told and with a certain time period, I just found it to be a very interesting story, and even with the tributes, and even with a Panem, and with a capital, and the entire book series as a whole, and even with the main stars, even with Rachel Zegler and Tom Blyth, I love their performances, and even with the rest of the cast, including for Peter Dinklage and Viola Davis, and they give great performances too, and even with the additional cast, it really feels like a thriller, and just like and even so, with the type of themes and tones it tries to bring into this entry, and the way that and even that this is a prequel, like I just really liked it, and it's just, especially this is set like a time before Cornelius became evil in the Hunger Games franchise, and the story told exactly that. And now I gotta say, like even with how the film starts, and even for how it progresses by telling a unique story, and that this is based on the book of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is that this is really finding our characters as they're in the annual Hunger Games, as like they're like watching he like die, and that's what to fight for survival, and even with the tone of the games and with everything that is sort of in here, it just basically take us back to the franchise, and I like the first Hunger Games, and even for how the games start, and just even with District 12, and just with everything that is like compelling, and just with the games, and just with everything else, I sort of enjoyed on screen. But even though like some parts of the film, I found it to be kind of like a drag, or like trying to like tell like a unique story, because this is like the longest film in the franchise. But just with with how these characters are developed, and just with the tone and with the pacing, it's sort of all right. But like even towards the third act, and it's when it really goes down. I just like the being back into the world of the Hunger Games, and with this book series, and with the film franchise in general, and I just like the franchise, and I like the performances from everyone. Even with Viola Davis, who I thought was a great antagonist, she gave a really great performance, and the way that I actually handled the tone and everything with her character, and even for the games, it was just really outstanding. But even like as I was watching, I found this to be like a pretty solid. And even with how Cornelius and Lucy Gray were like teaming up together, and even when the games actually start, it's sort of like a big, and it's sort of like thrilling, but even that is really suspenseful too. As this film progresses, like you get like a sense of urge with these characters, and what they're going through, and even with the games, and how everyone needs to survive in order to win. And and even with the peacekeepers and everything that was adapted from the books, and even specifically from this one, it was a nice, interesting touch, especially with the soundtrack and with the music, and even I love the Lucy Gray's singing part as she has in the film. I thought it was an awesome touch of like the way that Rachel Zegler like put on that performance, and I just like everything about that character and even about the film, and I thought it was good. So for my final thoughts is that I enjoyed the film. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was solid. It was good. And even with the performances coming out of everyone, especially with Rachel Zegler, and I just liked everything that was adapted in this film, and even with the entire book series as a whole, and even with this entire franchise, it was good to be back in it, and even with the 10th annual Hunger Games, and this, so I liked everything about it, and the tone, and with the way that it is set up, especially with Cornelius Snow, and for his character that is developed and set up like a way later on, like, and I just liked everything about the film in general, and I recommend it for your Hunger Games fans out there, and also who have read the book, and so yeah, I really enjoy this one. And so that is going to be it for this video, and let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and what your thoughts on the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes if you've seen the movie, and give it a rating to 1 out of 10, and just let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos, and also follow my social, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.